Hey, good morning. So today we have just a shorter practice that's going to involve using a chair. As you see, I have it all set up here. Now the practice, like I mentioned, our chair yoga practice today is going to be geared more towards folks at work and people that are maybe working at a desk for a lot of the time. I'm usually sitting at these desks, at your desk for long periods of time. Can lead to like a lot of different issues, including, compromising our posture. We'll end up, because we're typing or something like that, or even using electronic devices. We kind of bring it home with us. It can also cause a lot of tension in the neck and the shoulders. And even cause injury to our spine. Obviously when we're compromising our posture, our spine can get kind of bent. Again, we lose that integrity here and we end up like slouched or, just kind of not in a really comfortable position. And over time, this could cause a lot of chronic pain and possibly disease in our bodies. So in today's chair class, like I said, it's going to be a little shorter of a practice. And again, my name is Laura Bender. If we have not had the opportunity to practice together, and a lot of this, like I said, can be done. You can do it at home, but it's geared towards definitely using that office space that we have available. So start off our practice, you can either, if you're in front of a desk, maybe kind of scoot yourself away a little bit so that you can fully sit into your chair and just place the hands on the thighs or in your lap, like so that your feet are firmly planted on the ground and we're sitting up nice and tall. So you might have to kind of adjust yourself in your seat and just close the eyes for a few moments. And just take the breaths in and out of the nose. And nothing abnormal here about your breathing, just breathing in and out, just taking nice deep breaths. And taking them nice and slowly, almost like you're sipping on something that's a little hot, like sipping on a soup that's kind of hot. You just take your time bringing it in. And the same with your exhale. Again, you're just kind of letting it all out, wash over the body. And this breath that we're doing is nothing too crazy, nothing wild about it. We're just taking nice deep breaths. So you start to pay attention on what's happening to your body as you're starting to breathe in very slowly. And exhale really slow. You might start to feel that your body's just kind of relaxing, like maybe tension is leaving the body in some spaces. So what I want you to do is, as you're taking a breath in this next time, let's go ahead and count. So we're going to try with a count of 4 with our inhale. And just hold for a moment, maybe 1 second, and then exhale the breath for a count of 4. Good. Inhale for 4. Hold for 1, exhale for 4. And again, now the breath just continues to feel a little more fluid. So as we're inhaling, again, just gently releasing the breath. Then sometimes you might even forget that you're counting. It's just that simple. So let's try to lengthen the exhale a little bit more, and we will lengthen the inhale as well. So let's inhale for 5, exhale for 7. And after doing a few rounds, just return to your natural breath. So if that's a 4 and 4, maybe your natural breath now is that 5 and 7. And over a period of time, if you do this practice maybe a couple times a week, you'll notice the breath starting to maybe even get longer. So that's totally awesome if you can get that point, having nice long inhales and exhales, and it just allows the body to really relax here. And when this goes on, when our breath is going on, our breath is happening, we're trying to, sometimes thoughts are coming in and out of the head. Just let them kind of come in and out. And but just observe them. Just kind of let them hang out for a moment and then just let them go when you exhale the breath out. Just kind of, again, to relieve some stress and tension. Because, maybe this is the middle of a work day and you have a busy week and it's just a lot of things going on in your mind right now. But this is the opportunity to kind of slow it down, take those thoughts and just kind of put them to the side for a few moments. And it could just be 5 minutes. This practice doesn't have to be all of what I'm going to show you. This practice could just be the breath. All right. So once you've kind of calmed brought yourself to a natural state, I didn't mention this, but I'm going to use one prop today. And if you have something at home, but maybe it's something you can bring from home if you don't have, if maybe you're wearing it, I'm just going to use a yoga belt or a yoga strap. Another option would be a belt or a rope or something that's long enough. This actually, I think, is like an 8-foot belt, but I don't need it. It doesn't need to be this long. But we will use that in a few moments, but just to kind of let you know. All right. So after we got into that breath, let's kind of start to add a little bit of movement. Again, just kind of sitting away from the desk. If you wanted to, you could always bring your hands to the desk and just kind of placing them there. But I feel like, let's kind of detach ourselves from that. All right. So we're going to take our left ear and I'm going to just bring it down to my left shoulder. So just tipping the head to the side. Now, if you have an arm to your chair, you can kind of leave the arm there or just let your right arm maybe just hang down at your side here. And then the left hand we can take and bring to the top of the head and just kind of gently apply a little bit of pressure to bring the ear and the shoulder just a little closer. And you'll start to feel again some sensation hopefully here in the side of the neck, which is definitely a good indication that something needs to be loosened up. But again, kind of taking that breath that we just practiced and just letting the space get created here. All right, go ahead and just release your hand from the top of the head and we'll bring our head back to a neutral position. All right, so doing the same thing with the other side, bringing the right ear to the right shoulder. And again, just kind of finding something to do with your left hand now. Again, if it depends on how your chair is, if you have an arm here on your chair, you can always just place it on the arm, it's fine. There's no requirement of where you need to place it. And then we're going to take the right hand now, bring it to the top of the head. And just go ahead and bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Good. Let's go ahead and release the hand down to the side, bringing the head back to neutral. Good. And just kind of finishing up this neck area, a couple more positions that we can do. Let's start by actually, again, starting with bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. Now we're going to do some neck rolls, and this is totally up to you if you want to take it back a little bit. I'm going to do that in this demonstration, but just slowly or as quickly as you want to, just kind of take the neck in around in a clockwise position. And you can kind of linger in some poses if it feels good to maybe bring the chin towards the chest, just kind of hang out there for a moment. And then continue on with your circles, I should say. And now if you find just like taking the neck back is not comfortable for you, you can always just kind of take take it from shoulder to shoulder. All right, we're gonna do one more circle here if you're doing the full circles. And then as we get over to the left side, let's go ahead and just go the opposite direction, taking it a counterclockwise position. All right, maybe one more round of taking the neck around. Good. And we'll allow the chin to come down to the chest. We're going to bring the arms up above the head and just kind of interlace the fingers here, making a little kind of like something for our head to rest on. I'm going to gently bring it in to the chest. Excuse me, I have allergies, so I'm a little sniffly today. Went for a walk first thing this morning and came back and was sneezing about 20 times in a row. All right, let's go ahead and slowly release that. All right, so on to the shoulders. The other culprit that we tend to find is always a little tight or tensed up. So we're going to take the shoulders and bring them up to the ears. So kind of like shrugging here, and then we're just going to start to roll them back. And as you're doing that, you're kind of lifting the chest out. Good, and we'll take one more roll, taking it back, and then I'll kind of show you what it's going to look like now. So pausing here for a second. Again, we're going to bring them up towards the ear. This time we're going to roll them forward. So there might be a little more movement in the body because you might be using the arms a little bit to really create that rolling sensation. All right, good. We'll do one more here. Excellent. Now, the next one, I am going to show you with that strap, if you happen to have one. If not, that's okay too. I think it'll give a towel or something, that'll actually work as well. Let's see, I can actually double the strap up so I don't need to have it as long. And what we're going to start with is just kind of creating this nice wide grip. And what we're going to do is take the arms over the head and down the back. Now, if you're sitting in it, obviously if you're sitting at your desk here at your chair, kind of come to the edge of the chair so you have some room to bring the arms behind you, especially if you have a high back chair. All right, so as we take an inhale, we're going to bring it up to the top of the head. Exhale, bring it down the back. Now, the reason I have such a wide grip, this is based on my shoulder rotation. Now, obviously, somebody that might have more open shoulders, they can bring the hands a little closer, but it's good to kind of start with a nice wide grip and just kind of work your way in from there. Because obviously, if I'm here, it's going to be a little more difficult for me to get my arms back. So I have my grip all the way to the very edges of my strap. So yeah, exhaling down the back. And Also, one thing to kind of keep in mind, notice I'm keeping it, my head is in a neutral position. It isn't to my chest. I'm not moving it anywhere, just keeping it neutral. So I want to have the strap, again, high enough where it's not necessarily touching the head, because maybe you don't have a wide enough grip here. But, if it grazes the head, it's okay too. But I'm not ducking to avoid, I'm not doing the limbo with the strap. So just kind of keeping that in mind as well. Good, nice opening, rotation here. Again, inhaling up, exhaling down. Good, we'll do one more round, so bringing it back forward. And inhaling back up. Exhale back down. Inhale back up. And exhale down to the lap. Good, and you can just go ahead, place the strap to the side. We are done with that for now. All right. So again, if you're seated in a chair that maybe has arms, you can always hold on to the arms here, maybe in the back part of it, or hold on to the back part of the chair. I'm actually going to grab onto the back part of my chair, you can kind of see what I'm holding onto. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. And as I inhale, I'm going to straighten out my arms and then lifting my chest forward, kind of pulling the shoulder blades together, lifting the chin. So kind of like a little cow pose here in our seat. As I exhale, I'm going to start to bend the elbows, round in, tuck the chin. Good. Inhale again, lengthening those arms out. Really pinching those shoulder blades, just to say pinching, but bringing those shoulder blades together. Again, taking a breath in. And just moving in, again, your pace. This is with my breath. This is the pace you're moving. That's fine. Maybe you're moving a little slower. Maybe you're taking longer breaths. Maybe you're lingering in each pose. I can take it however you want. Good. We'll do one more round. Again, nice deep breath. And exhale. Good. Go ahead and roll yourself up and release your hands. Now, what we are going to do, since it was just holding on to the chair, this is another common culprit with stress and tension when we're working in an office, especially. Maybe we use a typewriter a lot, so our fingers and our wrists are tight. And we tend to notice this sometimes, when we do these kind of stretches, we're like, wow, I didn't really realize I was that tight there. So this will kind of help, again, kind of open those areas up. All right, so starting with just taking the right arm out in front, we're just going to reach the fingertips forward. And then I'm going to start to bend so my palm is facing away from me. And I'm just going to gently take the fingers and start to pull them towards my face. So just a little bit of a stretch here in the forearm. And a lot of the times, if you're actually in a position where you're lifting things, sometimes we can get tight in these areas too. So it's definitely a good stretch just to do regardless of whatever you do during the day. All right, and then we're going to take the wrist and then bend it down. Again, pull, now bringing the palm of the hand towards the body, fingers pointing down towards the ground. And of course, releasing that and just wiggling the fingers a little bit, making fists, rolling the wrists a tiny bit, maybe both directions. You might even hear crackling. All right, good. And now we'll take the left arm, extend it out forward, reaching it forward here. And again, we're gonna bring the palm of the hand so that it's facing away from you. We could just apply a little bit of pressure here to the palm, to the hand, kind of opening the wrist back this way. Again, I'm providing a little stretch here in the forearm. All right, good. And we'll go ahead and do the opposite. Again, bringing the hands down, the fingertips down towards the ground. And now see if this is painful for you, you should definitely you check with your doctor to see if there's any underlying issues that you may be having. They might actually recommend poses like this. I know that my parents have carpal tunnel, and these are good exercises, just kind of moving the hands and the wrists and the fingers and making sure that they're getting their movement, their stretching in. Good. But it might not be for everyone. So I always check with the doc. Good, just kind of rolling out the wrists. Let's shake out both of those hands. Awesome. All right, so again, still kind of working on the shoulders, chest area before we move on. So what I want you to do is bring your arms up. So like kind of like creating like just reaching up like a V. And then we're gonna bend the elbows. And as we bend the elbows, we're gonna kind of open the chest again, kind of like when we did that cat or the cow posture. So cactusing the arms or creating like this field goal post. Taking a breath. And then we're gonna slowly bring the hands around. So really giving ourselves a big hug. So kind of collapsing in here. We could bring the chin to the chest a lot. So we're just feeling different stretches on the shoulders here. All right, again, we'll inhale and open up. And maybe take a couple breaths while we're here. So almost like the elbows are pulling back. All right, next exhale. This time take the opposite hand on top. So if you had, depending on what shoulder or arm you had on top, we'll do the opposite. And we'll do 2 more of those just to kind of even everything out. Again, opening up the chest. And then exhale, bring it in for that little hug. All right, 2 more times. Open it up. Actually, no, I think I just said 2 more times, but we're just going to do that 1 more time. Okay, and then closing it in. All right, so just do enough of them. I think I kind of lost count there. So do enough of those where you feel like you've evened everything out, where you've had both arms on top, just kind of stretching the body that way. All right, so having a seat again back in the chair, and here you can sit back a little bit if you prefer. We're just going to start to move on to another part of the body, the spine, which definitely, again, is something that gets compromised when we're sitting down for a long period of time. All right, so inhaling, and we'll bring those arms up, and like we did before, and then we're going to exhale. So as we do that, we're just going to bring this left hand down to the right knee, and then we're going to grab for our chair, back of the chair with our right. Now gaze and your body could just, all we need to worry about is just turning maybe just to the right side. If you want to take your gaze a little further, you can always turn the neck a little further. The important key is here, we don't want to be like this. We want to keep our legs engaged. Our hips are going to be neutral to the front of the room, front of your space, or facing your desk, whatever way is neutral for you. So just take a couple breaths here. Excellent. Let's go ahead and bring it back to center. So as we do that, we're going to reach those arms up again high and then take the twist to the left side. So right hand's going to come to the outside part of the leg, left arm behind us on the chair. Again, my hips are staying neutral. And you can do this really as many times as you like. Maybe if you have any low back issues, this is definitely, twisting is definitely a good option to help that out. All right, let's go ahead and come back to center. Reach it nice and tall. And then we'll bring our hands to our lap. So the next couple poses will kind of be intertwined a little bit. So hopefully if you have a chair that doesn't have arms, it'd be perfect for this. If you don't, maybe find a chair that doesn't necessarily have the same kind of, it's not built the same way. So I'm going to take my legs out a little wider. All right, so my toes are pointing out. And I'm going to take my right arm and just going to rest it here on my thigh. I'm going to start to bend to that side. As I'm starting to bend to that side, I'm going to take my left arm up. And then I'm going to start to do a little bit of a side bend. So we're really kind of stretching this part of the body. Now to get that rotation that I teach a lot in my other classes of the shoulder, what you can do is reach the arm forward and sweep it up so that you're now rotating up towards the ceiling. And you want to also just kind of stay firm in your arm here. You don't want to be slumping down. So that's not the whole point of this. We want to be able to feel the side stretch here. If you're bending too far over, it's not going to feel very good. So just kind of taking time. If you had blocks or books, you could have always placed them on the ground next to you. I have some blocks off to the side, but we're not going to use them for this particular class. All right, go ahead and come back to the center. We'll do the other side. Again, just kind of resting the arm here, but then again, staying upright. We want to keep this elbow bent, so forearm's just resting here. I'm going to reach my arm forward and then twist, opening up. But if maybe that's not for you, maybe you're just going to be here today. That's okay too. You'll definitely feel something. Feel some kind of opening here in the side ribs. So that's what we're looking for. Keeping this hand engaged. Notice my hand is reaching out. Excellent. Let's go ahead and come back to center. All right. So the other pose, like I said, is kind of entwined with this, having our legs opened to like a straddle. So I'm going to bring let's start with the left side. So we're just going to kind of bend the shoulder in. We're just going to start to move a little bit here. So having to the hands and the tops of our thighs, just kind of dipping in each shoulder. So you're kind of bending here at the waist a little. And again, this could be a movement that is done more slowly, or if you want to just kind of go side to side, but I think it feels a little better this way. Awesome. All right, we'll do one more in here and one more on the right. All right, so go ahead and bring the legs back together so that you're in a neutral position one more time. And another popular pose that I like to do with the chair yoga practice are sun salutations. Now we're going to do them all seated. So again, this is something you could just do in your chair the entire time. Other classes, if you're doing, maybe you feel like you can kind of step away. If you want to step away from the chair, there's other variations as well, but we're not going to go over those just today. All right, so we're going to inhale, bring those arms up. Exhale and fold it down. Reach for your toes. Inhale, halfway lift. So as we do that, we're going to lift the chest, kind of create this long line all the way from the crown of the head to your tail. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, bring it all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart. We'll do that 2 more times. Again, deep breath. Bring those arms up. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up to stand. I should say all the way up to our seated standing position. Exhale, hands to heart. Last time. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise. Let's go ahead and bring those arms all the way up. Connect the palms. And then bring the hands to the heart. Now, one other important thing that we tend to do, or tends to bother us when we're seated a long period of time, is our hips. So we're going to do a couple hip stretches. And again, if you have the desk in front of you, it's perfect. So I'll show you why in a minute. So we're going to first take our right ankle and cross it over the left thigh. So starting here in this kind of like a partial figure four. Now, if you have that desk in front of you, maybe you can reach your hands forward and just kind of fold in. If you don't, just again, start to hinge at your hips here and just slightly bring yourself forward. If you had books or something on the ground in front of you, you can always use those as well to kind of enhance the forward fold. So we're just kind of allowing a little opening back here. And it might also, depending on how far forward you're folded, say that 3 times very fast, might actually give you a little lower back stretching as well. Just take a couple moments here with the breath. Awesome. Go ahead and release. So come up for your fold and then uncross the leg. We'll do the same thing on the left. So crossing that left ankle over the thigh. You can always stay here if it feels this feels actually like it's enough for you, or maybe challenge yourself, fold in a little bit. Again, if you're applying any pressure here, make sure this foot is nice and active. We don't want to just be hanging out in a cross-leg position because this is protecting the joints. Good. Let's go ahead and slowly release on coming up from your fold. Now, there's a couple different options for the last position I was going to show you, just a Shavasana. Sometimes some people have actually, my husband actually does occasionally, he has something for his feet to keep them kind of elevated somewhat. If you have another chair available, I can actually bring another chair in here just to kind of help demonstrate what I'm kind of trying to say. So if you want to set up your chair, your secondary chair, if you have it, we're going to have these chairs facing each other. And if you don't have a secondary chair, maybe you have a stack of boxes or something. And we're just going to allow the legs to rest. And this would be great, again, sitting up nice and tall. You can place the hands in the lap. And just spend a few moments breathing here. Now we're just going to spend maybe about another minute or so just to kind of, again, kind of chill us out, relax our body. This is as if it's a full Shavasana. So maybe closing your eyes would be good. Excellent. And just kind of open your eyes from here. And again, you can just kind of take one leg at a time off the chair or whatever prop or whatever you were using for yourself. So that's all. So these are all the poses that you can do in a seated position, especially if you are sitting at a desk or maybe you have your own office, that you can do during the workday, or you can do as little of them or as many of them as you want, or you can do all of them together. Totally up to you. It's always great to have a little bit of movement into our day. So I hope this provided some help and assistance for that. So good luck to you that are going back to work or that are already at work. I hope these were useful for you. So again, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day and rest of your week. Namaste.